Welcome back, gatekeepers, to Them Gates Power Ranking. This is for episodes 114 through 118, week of August 18th, 2025. I am Queen PR.
Brian H. Waters here.
Yes, welcome back to the official Beyond the Gates podcast of Six Heart Media Productions. So, wow, what a week. I don't want to waste a lot of time, but I do want to shout out all of the fellow gatekeepers in these Facebook groups that we have been joining. I'm in like 3 or 4 at this point. Because you really can't talk about Beyond the Gates enough. I think all of our listeners can agree. I actually joined a few more, babe, while we were watching Friday's episode.
Wow, without telling me? You ain't even add me?
I mean, you'll get those invites. But I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone that I have been able to engage with in those groups. Congratulations to the Beyond the Gates cast for officially recording 200 episodes.
Yeah, talk about it.
I mean, wow. To already have filmed the 200 episodes, already finishing up season 1, being renewed for season 2. It's just exciting news all around when it comes to our favorite show at the moment. I also want to give a shout out to actor Sean Freeman, who plays Andre on the show, who has been engaging with fellow gatekeepers in these groups as well. And I think it's actually the real actor that plays Andre. So shout out to him. And please don't take anything I say about your character personally. I love you, and I love all of the cast.
You didn't even get started yet. You just been giving just a piece. They don't watch it. If we did a live stream one
day we will do a live stream because I want to get into
watch along.
A watch along. Oh, a watch along would be great. Honestly, my commentary is probably the best that you will hear because I am always just like, what is happening right now in like the best way possible. So welcome back to Them Gates Power Ranking. So let's get into it right now. So last week was crazy, explosive, but I think this week might have even topped that. So ranking number 13 this week in our Beyond the Gates Power Ranking is Bill. And it's really, these rankings are really just how I'm feeling about the characters, the storylines in the moment. And the only reason that he is down here is because he wasn't really featured that much in this episode. But I do want to mention that I love that seeing him in dad mode. I love seeing him. Actually, he did have a pretty good significant moment in this episode, but I love seeing him being a dad. I love seeing him be vulnerable, talking about his own father and the backstory of how he became the Dupree family fixer. And a lot of it had to do with wanting to earn Vernon Dupree's respect, because as you know, Vernon Dupree is a very respected man and pillar of his community. And of course, when they needed fixing for this Leslie problem, which we will get into, the first person they called was Bill.
Bill, indeed. And one thing about a common enemy is this gonna bring people together without a shadow of a doubt. And there's more things that we'll talk about later in the show. But in our deep dive, we kind of talked about Bill and kind of his influence and kind of working his way back to the Dupree family. And you could see, like, at the end of the day, there was love there at one point.
Right.
So there was never love for Leslie, but there was love for Bill. So he gets to resume that role again. And I love that part when he said, your respect. I never had it.
Gave it to him.
Yeah. And you could kind of see the
big
hurt.
moment.
Yep. Exactly. And you can kind of see the hurt in Bill when he said it, like, this is all I ever wanted from you, Dad.
Yeah. And he got that handshake. It seems like he couldn't do much, but I am glad that he was able to get to that point, because I am one of those people that humanizes Bill. I posted in all of the numerous Beyond the Gates Facebook groups that I'm in, people to list their 3 favorite characters at the moment, and there was a lot of more Bills there than I thought, because Bill's one of my favorite characters, Vanessa and Dani probably at this moment. And I was surprised because he was supposed to be like the villain, but I think they've been doing a good job of humanizing him, and with Haley and the baby really showing a vulnerable side to him. So I really enjoyed seeing that.
Mhm.
I just put the Richardson family because it seems like this whole thing with June has gotten them back together, which
Yes.
is very exciting. And when I say exciting, meaning I never wanted Smitty and Martin to actually get divorced. I did think Smitty was kind of overreacting a little bit by kicking him out the house when all that went down. And then with this June situation, her popping up at the house and just totally crossing boundaries. And then knowing that they now have both of their dads in the house, or at least closer to being a family together. I really like to see that.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was very important for them to come back together in a time of crisis. And, you know, poor Martin, he was already dealing with a lot with what he did, and
Right.
to be able to harvest that, if something's so bad that you can't tell your partner or feel
Hmm.
like you can tell your partner, that's already going to weigh down on you
Right.
regardless. I mean, look at Ted. Ted kind of, he thought that Leslie problem was gone, but you can see it starting to weigh on him
Oh,
as
definitely.
before it got revealed. But in this case, the same thing. However, the kids are affected too, and when Jews showed up, I'm like, "Oh, come on. Like, yo, they don't
Yeah.
want you, man." And I get it, but like the stuff she was doing, it's like, get clean first,
And she
then
owes, yeah, but I don't think long enough to earn the
that's what I
trust
meant. Get
back
clean long
of
enough.
your, like for your
Mhm.
kids. And June blaming Naomi and Jacob, and and I have my own opinions on whether or not Naomi and Jacob did the right thing, but
Mhm.
I hope that they can get through this. I think that the kids overstep a lot for their age, but I do appreciate how mature they are, and
Yeah.
how at least they are able to have these conversations with their parents, which is really important. And it, like I said before, it brought them together. So,
I would love to hear a little bit more backstory, and maybe that's coming because
mhm,
as you've been saying that, it just reminds me of similar situations in life that I've seen from a distance, from a third person point of view, and where you hear Tyrell talk about mom leaving them and him having
mhm,
to kind of wait and fend for them while she got hot. But I wonder how many times, and when they hit the system, how many different people they were with where they did have to grow up so fast. And that's why it's
right.
making sense for them to kind of overstep a lot. And you can kind of see with Martin and Smitty, they wanted to be parents so bad they
Hmm.
do let them get away with a little bit more,
Yeah, they do.
and I think, like, if Nicole and Ted were a better in a better situation as grandparents, they would be able to kinda
Grandparents.
I know, right? But
I
as
just think
grand
they look too. Just to explain why I'm doing this is because they just seem way too young to be grandparents to like teenagers. But that's
they
beside the point.
well, black don't crack.
That's
Um, so I would like to see them kinda say, "Hey, get in line a little bit more." Even their great-grandfather
right,
Vernon, but,
right.
it's kinda like
Eavesdropping and all that shit,
they're
like,
giving
that's
them
a
a little bit too
no-no.
much grace.
Yeah, I agree. And shout out to people in the groups that were, explaining a different perspective about being adopted. And like
Mhm.
you touched on, the kids living the life that they lived growing up, that
Yeah.
they do grow up quickly.
Mhm.
They do have to fend for themselves. They do need more information just to navigate the world, and they're used to doing what they need to do to, be able to navigate the world. And we've seen a little peek of that when June was able to talk to them. So I totally agree with that, and I really hope and wish for the best for that family.
Yeah, same.
We have Ted. I've been in a keyboard war with these Ted, new Ted apologists, and people are just really over people saying that they miss turtleneck Ted. And I'm gonna be 100 with everyone that listens to the show, any gatekeeper that I engage with on in these groups. I will never get over the fact that there is a new Ted. I am new to soap operas, okay?
Mhm.
So I am not used to characters, actors playing, character, like switching up. Like I am not used to that at all. At all. It's honestly like the opposite of the type of television I normally watch. Um so it's not just about the lines or the storylines. It's about the fact that I was introduced to this character, to that marriage, to that family with one person, a specific person, and now that's not that person. So it's very hard for me to feel as connected with this new Ted, although I do love the actor, and that is the last thing I'm going to say about it. But he was served divorce papers. He learned that his wife is dating his friend. His other friend, Doug, who we'll get into, is blaming him for losing his job. I just don't think Ted will ever win for losing. And also, just everything that he's trying to do with Eva is just a lot. Like, I just feel like with Ted, like, he just needs to kind of focus on himself and figuring out how to get Nicole back. Like, I think everything else that he's doing is just too much.
Yeah, these surgeons, seeing them go through real life stuff, I love it. As somebody who spent, you know, a group of 7 years in my work life career working in the medical field, from whether it was on the nutrition side or the support associate side, or more importantly, the public relations, media relations side.
Mhm.
Surgeons deal with a lot, and I'm glad to see them humanized on this show. Now, with that being said, man, we said last week Ted got to get some better like people around him. So when I saw him talking to Doug,
Mhm.
I'm like, nah, that's not it. But boy, oh boy, seeing him talking with Bill, it's got me thinking maybe after Bill handles this other situation here, maybe that's who he needs to call to handle old Mr.
Yeah.
Carlton. Because I still
Oh,
stand by.
oh. You think somebody needs to put hands on Carlton?
They just need to rough him up a little bit. Because
I
you
mean,
don't
'cause
do
crossing the
that.
line like that, and also so early on.
Yeah, but
Like, let the divorce papers get signed before you all on it, taking her out at the country club.
But of all places, they like
Carlton
you ain't
is
even trying to sneak into
messy.
it. You ain't even trying to show up at her house and just
Nope.
take her trash out. No, you
You
out
gotta
here
be
with her,
careful with
and
these
I
guys.
like I said, that just don't sit right with me. Especially considering he still got feelings for her. It ain't like it's
Right,
like, you know what,
right.
bro, I'm done with her,
Or it's
whatever.
been like, oh, a couple years, they've been divorced. Like, oh, okay, do you think it's okay if I hit that? He didn't even do that. He didn't even give him the courtesy call. Like, I know, like, there's, girls, what is it, girl code? Like, there gotta
Yeah,
be some kind of guy code here
that's definitely
right
against bro code.
now.
That is
Bro code. There you
highly
go.
against bro code, and
Crazy.
that's why I can never respect Carlton.
Yeah. And I
So,
wanted to like Carlton too.
Bill,
I like how he dressed. He might have to I might have to get that problem fixed.
oh
Oh,
man,
all right. So we're gonna move on. I put Derek and Ashley, and in parentheses, also his friend Jacob. This is such a sad storyline. Of course, Derek is finally accepting the fact that he's leaving the hospital in a wheelchair. He's probably never going to walk again. He is able to take in Shanice's advice because clearly, obviously she's done this before and she wants to give him hope. You want to give people hope in that situation because anything is possible. And then Ashley, she's in such a difficult position as well because she has to live with the guilt. She has to, a person that she loves and cares about, that she probably deep down inside knew that maybe they would end up back together or something, will never be the man that she knows, will has to go through this horrible tragedy. And then she has to deal with this new situation that she was ready to risk it all for, and realize that Andre is not who she thought he was. That her mother might actually be right. She catches them that last week, catches Dani and Andre, and is heartbroken and has to confront Andre at her job in this
hmm
situation, and he was so annoying. So in this moment, as much as I like make fun of Ashley on this show, I do sympathize for her right now. Like, she's thinking that she's about to start this new chapter, exciting, adventurous chapter in her life, and actually, this next chapter ain't gonna be all that.
Oh boy, oh boy. You know what? Here's my thing. Sorry, Derek. You made your bed. You should have listened. So, Ashley, look, hey, you know what? You gotta move on.
Mm,
That sounds harsh, but this TV, so I could be harsh. You know, she shouldn't have. I'm not because like you're right. Last week you said don't blame. You know, it's not fair for him to blame her. It's her fault, man. It's his fault on how he reacted. You know,
right.
he did lay it out all on the line, and she made a choice, but now she got to live with it. But that don't mean she got to go back to Derek and accept him at this version of him. And you know,
Mhm.
I think he's going to be fine. I think
I
you
hope
know,
so.
yeah, Madison and Shanice didn't look like they was feel like. It's like,
But they also they're professionals.
mm-hmm,
So they kind of have to kind of try to give hope, but also keep it real, but also be like detached.
yeah,
So I also put Jacob in there because of that conversation that Jacob and Derek had, and like as a friend, just like Ashley, like how it just sucks to see your friend going through all of this.
mm-hmm,
I do want to mention really quick because I didn't put Madison on here, but she had a conversation with Nicole because they're professional colleagues, and she was saying how recently she's been letting emotion get come into play at work and stuff like that, and it might be because of being in a new relationship, being Chelsea got her open at work. She like, oh, I'm like, oh, emotional. She but like I like to see the world like that. It is a universe, like it's
mm-hmm,
to see characters that we've never seen interact with each other before. Like
yeah,
I love that kind of stuff. um so Madison is also kind of going through this change as well because she's used to kind of being serious, going to work, being like this amazing surgeon, professional doctor, and now she's like head over heels in love with Chelsea, and she has to figure out how to deal. And I like that. I like that we're seeing such like multi-dimensional aspects of characters and in within this universe.
yeah, me too. You know, I'm a fan of Madison and everything. You know, and like you said, just to see this beautiful woman be, you know, kind of like one of the I don't want to say HICs, but I'll say HNICs. You know, I ain't gonna say you know, but you know,
Like
kind
at
of
bitch in charge.
yeah.
Oh.
You got the license. You know, I like seeing her in that role. Like she's one of the go-to people there. You know what I
She is
mean? We
very
haven't,
well respected.
yeah, we don't see, and this is just like small little details what I love about the show. We don't see her answering to a white man or another man taking
Mm,
orders from, you know, the
right.
lead doctor or lead surgeon or charge nurse. So I'm excited about this, and I do love that those kind of coming together where she is getting more comfortable with
Hmm.
Chelsea's family. So I love that.
I do
And
love
I
that.
mean, you know, we're gonna see, you know, but like I said, poor Derek, and you know, shout out to Jacob. He's trying to be a
Yeah.
good friend.
Yeah, he is. I have a question for the gatekeepers that are listening to this. Do you think or agree that, because I feel this way about Jacob, do you feel like he can be a little too self righteous sometimes? And do you think his relationship with his father, whether his father's good or bad, and I know I love villains, do you think that him wanting to always do the right thing is going to ultimately destroy his relationship with his father and ultimately his job? Because his father's right connected to it. You see, he's on death duty right now. So, what is the future of Jacob? Is he too righteous for his own good?
I'd love to
All
see what you
right.
guys say about that.
I am very curious. So next in my power ranking is Doug and Vanessa.
Ooh.
10 and 9. So Doug, y'all know how I feel about him. I think he's a bitch. And I say that in the nicest way possible. I just think that he is so delusional. He's clearly in Delulu land from the start, having this gambling addiction, not acknowledging that he got him and Vanessa into this in the first place, and that Vanessa, being the boss bitch that she is, came in and she loves the excitement, she loves the danger. She loves being mixy at the same time, but also she saved your life ultimately and helped you guys get out of debt because you probably would have to get Joey Armstrong would have probably had to clip you after a while because you clearly weren't learning your lesson. You owe him a lot of money. So he needs to be grateful to Vanessa and kind of take that L while Vanessa kind of has this little rendezvous and liaison with Joey Armstrong. The nerve of him to walk into rooms demanding things like, Doug, go sit down somewhere, okay? Because you're not working. You really need to sit down somewhere, like for real, for real. And then you want to blame Ted for losing your job. Ted is not the reason you lost your job. You need to look in the mirror right now. And you need to let my girl Vanessa do her thing because she's keeping y'all afloat.
Mm,
Okay?
mm, mm,
How do
mm.
you feel about Doug and Vanessa's dynamic? Do you think Doug is as pathetic as I do?
Yes, he quit. He didn't have to quit, but
That's
he
true.
was out there being too chatty, not being
Mhm.
aware, watching a lot of Power and seeing how what they do, they put the little thing on his car, caught everything he said. But
Yep.
like bottom line, you can't walk in there demanding stuff after you done became a
Right.
cuck. Like,
Right. Basically,
you know,
you're gonna have
and
to just take that L, bro.
and the thing is, when she was like, she said, well, "I thought you was doing the same thing." Like, bruh, like, look, I will
Mhm.
never put myself. I'm gonna say this on record. I will never put myself in position where Queen PR can just go out there and be with some other dude because I done got in so much crazy stuff. That's not going to happen.
Right.
And I'm sitting there like every time it's just like he disgusts me, and then I'm not the thing is like I'm not even mad at her because what did Tony Braxton say? I think it was Tony Braxton. He wasn't man enough
He
for
wasn't man enough for me.
her.
No, not even at all. Not
He's
even a little
lucky
bit.
he still have the privilege of being married to her.
Exactly. And that she doesn't want to go as far as getting divorced.
Hmm.
But Vanessa, I will say you need to cover your tracks because your girl Nicole, she clearly knows what's going on. You're not as low as you think that you are. So I'm gonna need you to be a little bit more careful. We'll get into the preview for next week's episodes. But I do also want to say, because Vanessa's probably, and Brian, is one of my favorites.
Hmm.
What is with her selling a house to the ops? Like, are
I
you kidding me right now? Like, I get it. I know money is money. This is you're going to sell a house. You're going to get your commission. It don't matter because she started the show selling the house to Bill and Haley
think
behind
about
beyond
it.
in Fairmount Crest. So, girl, what is going on with that?
Those are probably bigger commission checks because you're talking about two people who have a vendetta. So that means they're going to probably pay two,
Mm,
3 times market value. And for I don't like I've worked on commission like briefly, right? And you see that you like, wait a minute, if I sold this, I get how much? So I mean, granted, we supposedly money's not an object, but everybody like money. Everybody's counting their
mhm,
money. So
mhm.
those checks, especially Leslie, she crazy enough because she just got a check for a $1 million check. It ain't like she got the full estate yet. It's
Right,
coming. But she already doing frivolous spending. What did Bill say? Well, if somebody's not used to money, she's bound to make mistakes. I was like,
right, right. And he's right. And he's right, as always.
that's why he's the fixer. So he's sitting there playing chess,
Mhm.
waiting for her to be the pawn that goes right into the wrong side of the board. He's waiting. And like you said with Bill and Haley, Bill paid buku's amount of dollars just to stick it to Danny and them.
Yeah, and
So,
like I'm gonna be here.
so that's why I
I'm gonna
think
be
she's
here.
like, look, y'all my peoples, but at the same time, these dollars, I
I gotta do what
need
I gotta
them. I gotta
do.
get this money.
I get this money. Next I want to talk about sad ass Andre. He is so pathetic.
Hmm.
He's another one where the keyboard warriors were coming for me because I posted that he is exactly the guy
Mhm.
that Ashley's mom warned you about
Yep.
and that you're supposed to have your phone with and then keep it moving. And I
Mhm.
am so happy that Danny has finally realized that. And also, he chose Ashley over Danny Dupree. Let's put that out there as well. I told y'all he was sad. And gets rejected by Ashley too by being too fucking mixy as he always is, and I always called him a fuckboy from day one. And he gets rejected by both of his women. Then he goes to the hospital to talk to Ashley while she's working, while all this stuff with Doug, and it's just, oh god, I got the ick so bad when he hugged her like that while she's, first of all, she's working, then she's going through everything with Derek. She caught you, she knows you lied to her, she already regrets everything because she probably kind of blames, I feel like if Derek blames Ashley for the accident, Ashley blames her
Mm.
entanglement with Andre, because
Wow, we haven't
remember
heard that word in a while.
Andre, yes, I brought that term back, entanglements. Yes, I did. Because now we see that Andre, this life or this world, that an adventure that she thought he was going to bring to her life really ain't all that. Like Eric, she said it best. Like, Derek's accident really reminded her what's important in life. And even if she doesn't end up back with Derek, she knows that she does not want to mess with Andre. And seeing his face, he looked like he was about to cry when Vanilla Spice was just like, I'm glad that, what I thought happened didn't happen. Thank you for explaining it to me, but that doesn't change anything for me. He looked like he was about to cry.
He did. Oh, he did, and I was sitting there like, man, you ain't even playing the game right, And Danny basically said, okay, let's talk, and like she just kind of like put a leash. She might as well put a leash on him and said, "Come on, boy,"
Yep.
and
Yep.
walked him around. She said, "All right, no, we're going to be friends, and you're going to tell me what's
Period.
going on." Oh no, but you can't get none. You gotta earn your way back, and that's what Danny. I mean, if it's like like in sports, they'll do like a money meter, like chi, like is the value just went up. That's how, like, if I'm looking at Danny like, she just got some more XP points. Gamers will know what I mean, because
Mhm.
she really went back and took control. She took control of the dick and said,
She
"Nope,
did.
I tell you when you can get something. Now you got to earn, because ain't nowhere in the world you gonna sit there and tell her I took her to Paris. Like, first of all,
You know how
he
I feel
keeps,
about that.
he keeps saying I took her to Paris, like
You
he really
decorated your apartment.
like he really put her on a private
That is
jet.
what you fucking did when you could have. They talk about how much money he got.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I said it on the last show. If me and you talk about it, if you are as rich as he claims to be,
Yep.
and you talking about you want to fucking take me to Paris and it's fucking your apartment with fucking photos and shit. No, 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 no. Where's the plane ticket to Paris?
Yep. And what it really showed is he can't romance Danny. He had luck really fall in his lap.
Yeah, because Danny needed that at that moment. Oh my god,
And
people were calling him the plumber or the no, the maintenance man, like a
uh,
variation of that, because they were like, he's the person that you call to do a job for you, and then when the
yeah,
job is done, they leave, and then you call them back if you need a tune up or something. And
yeah.
I was like, that's so perfect, but I almost felt bad for him, almost, like this much.
No, he made a bad decision. He didn't make a pimp
Did.
decision,
He
so he
did
got
make
to
a
live
good
with it.
decision, and he's supposed to be the ladies' man playboy. Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next on our power ranking is Nicole, and this is when it just gets crazy because we watch Nicole learn that her arch nemesis, the woman who cheated with her husband, had a baby on him, developed this plan to have her daughter infiltrate the system, infiltrate the family system, and destroy them from the inside out. Almost killed her assistant twice. Was able to take Nicole out of her character to then almost sue her for I think harassment or something. And now she learns that her family is bankrolling
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Leslie. And then I'm just gonna add Anita Dupree in here because she was next on my power ranking. And I
Mm-hmm.
just feel so bad for the two of them. And I feel bad even for like Anita, because I had said in the last episode she was number one in my power ranking last week, because I was like, she is so content she was able to finally find peace about what happened to Barbara with the articulates and all of that stuff. Like she can now release it. She was able to throw the other two articulates a tour. She was just like, I'm just done with this. I'm just so at peace.
That's a
And
flex.
then it is a flex. I don't need that tour. Give it to them. And then to learn that Barbara's daughter is Leslie Thomas, and they
Mhm.
are now paying for her to be the biggest menace in the entire world. And Leslie also made Anita come out of character, which wait, I don't know if that was out of Anita's character because she that pimp hand came back and she also slapped the shit out of Leslie.
Mhm.
But I just it just sucks right now. Like imagine your op like the craziest person in the universe now has as much as you do, as much access as you do. Nothing can stop this crazy ass bitch. She don't have to do none of these disguises anymore to be in places that they are at. She is now, like Danny said, in their tax bracket, and there is really nothing that they can do about it. So, how do you feel about Anita? How do you feel about them right now? Like after this week's episodes?
Man, it's trouble in paradise. And because you said a key word, it wasn't money, it was access.
Mm,
Because when you got access, that says a lot. You can be a little, regular, or poor, but if you got access, so now, how much longer? We did see Anita, she's been a kind of calm, cool, like even throughout everything. She was like, no, we still gonna go see our granddaughter's Chelsea cat. We still gonna
mhm,
support. She's always been able to maintain a level head. I don't know in these next few weeks if she's going to be able to maintain it, her or Nicole. They've always been kind of the ones to kind of be like, all right, you know what, try to be reasonable. And we saw Nicole bend but not break. I
mhm.
don't think this can continue much longer. I think it might get real ugly.
I think it's gonna have to get ugly because Leslie is and she is the type of person that like you just gotta I hate to say it, but she gonna have to get clipped at some point because she is never gonna stop.
She needs
Never
somebody.
ever gonna stop.
Somebody gonna have to get on a motorcycle and
Yep.
put her in the
And
hospital.
run her ass off the road just like everybody just like she tried to do with homegirl,
Yeah.
the assistant.
Mhm.
Okay, so next on my power list is Chelsea. And I put her on here because I wanted to talk about her because I think it's sad that she's not out to her father yet. I
Mhm.
love that she's out with the rest of her family, and they kind of know who she is, and I love that for her. But I know what it would probably mean to have her father's blessing, especially because she is so in love with Madison. And I thought Madison was going to be upset about her introducing her to her dad as her friend. But I think because Madison also had a hard time coming out to her father, she understands that it's going to come in the right time. But I don't know if I would have reacted in the same way because I think in my mind, I would have been like, okay, you don't plan to tell your dad, but like he's here. So why not?
The maturity of Madison, we talked about
Yeah.
that earlier. Just the maturity, when it happened, I actually screenshotted our facial reactions because we both just couldn't believe it. But I understand what you're saying, like why I was sad. But then when you really think about it, Chelsea was very hesitant, and how you say there's the one child who can kind of
Mhm.
understand the parent, and the one who's just like very distant, like, no, you were wrong, get out of my face. That was Chelsea.
Yeah.
Naomi, also because their paths had to cross a lot of times, and there
Right.
was the one point where she was getting ready to sue him. What was that during the spring, early,
Yeah.
so, but she was also there at the hospital, and Chelsea was there, but let's be real. She was looking at her father, but she was checking out
Yeah.
Madison. So I can see why, because I was thinking about, I was like, they never really had a healing moment. We saw the healing moment with
Mm.
Bill and Naomi.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
never saw that healing moment with Bill and Chelsea. This was probably the first time they were on screen together that I can recall where it was just like, more of a "I'm proud of you, you did this," not
Mhm.
no, "Hey, hey, hey," you know what I mean? Like, of course she, because I think in the beginning, like one of the first within the first month, she refused, or maybe she just hesitated, said she loved him, and then remember how we learned the type of father Bill was and how they would get
Mhm.
excited. So that is also regurgitating, this whole situation is probably regurgitating a lot of those feelings, especially when he thought a baby was on board. Said,
Yeah,
guess what? Oh, so you gonna be there for that baby 24/7 when you was barely there for us, but you would come out and
right.
take us to the park. So I I gotta understand why, and I'm just, again, Chelsea, don't mess this up, because Madison has been more than understanding, and
She really
she
has
been going through
in a
hell to
lot
me.
of different situations, yeah.
She
She
like her.
does. She does, and they are such a beautiful couple, and I want them to work, and we will get into what is happening with Chelsea,
Mhm.
next week. So next, and then we only have a few more, but Kat, so I put her girl, she is really going through it right now. Like Chelsea and Kat, congratulations, you guys are about, well, hopefully we'll eventually launch your company, your
Chelsea
purses and
can't.
all of that kind of stuff, Chelsea Cat. But it feels like it's never gonna happen because so much messy shit is happening. Like Kat,
Mhm.
she's having a horrible sex with her boyfriend. She is embarrassed by Leslie at the country club. She has to learn that Tomas knew about Leslie's new fortune and has been talking to Eva. And she also learns about her parents' divorce. So it
Mhm.
is just not a good time for Kat outside of the business. She does have a cute scene with Jacob at the police department to inquire about Leslie, and it's so funny like that now. Leslie ain't going nowhere, girl. She about to haunt your family forever, and she has to get over what she has with Eva, because now Eva now has access to everything Kat has access to at this point now. So it's very much like, where is Kat winning in life right now?
Wow. Yeah. The fact that you let her, she having horrible sex
I
with
mean,
her.
come on, that's
Are
a
they
downer.
I was wondering though, like, are they officially together? Did they
I think so. I mean, he's all
Okay.
over her. I think them finally doing it, I was them saying, "Okay, we're ready to be together." But I feel
Mhm.
like Kat slept with Tomas for all of the wrong reasons, and
Yeah.
he does not deserve either one of them, Kat or Eva, in my opinion.
No, he doesn't, and just with everything. But she's so annoying because, like, even she was back at checking out her case, and it's like she's the one person I'm like, I want to like you. Get yourself together. But she so
Seriously.
annoying. She's like I don't like fantasy booking, but I
Mhm.
kind of wish there was another brother. I do like Martin being her brother, right? But I also wish there was another dynamic where she was that, because you could really see how much of an annoying little sister she is.
Right.
Like Martin too far like into his own world, his own politics, that it doesn't seem to bother him. Where I want to see her play that role with another brother the way she is to Jacob.
Mm. I agree. I totally agree. And even sometimes I think their chemistry doesn't give me brother and sister, except for outside of like on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because you can tell how close they are, and
Yep.
they make the dance videos and stuff together. But on screen, maybe they're not in enough scenes together. I don't know what it is, but
Mhm.
they don't really give that. But yeah, Kat, you need to, one, focus on yourself, focus on your business, and try to move forward, because you were seeking Leslie. You ain't gonna have to do that no more, girl. It's all gonna be right there. So now it's time for you to separate yourself and hopefully move on.
What if not, because now you thinking, like you just said, she ain't gonna have to seek her no more. I guess in a best case scenario for them, Leslie would be found guilty the day she signed her closing papers.
We would hope so. But with
Yeah,
what evidence? What connections to the
that's
crime?
yeah. See, and they had her. They had her, but Cat moved the evidence.
Fucked it up.
Yep.
Fucked it up, Kat. I did like her dress today. In today's episode,
Mm.
though. Leslie.
Woo!
She definitely has to be like number one, probably, because she finds out it is real. She is the daughter of Barbara. She does inherit a fortune. She becomes a member of the country club. She buys a house across the street from the Duprees. She's able to stick it to Ted. She's able to stick it to Bill. She's able to stick it to Anita Dupree. She is probably riding on cloud nine right now. I
Mhm.
don't think that like she was the wrong person to inherit a fortune. Out of
Yep.
all people in the entire show, it's like her, really, like this evil bitch. But at the same time, that's ain't that how life be? It be like the craziest situations, like where the wildest scenario, and it just be like, yep, yep, Leslie's the one, yep, and she did buy a house across the street, yep, and all of these things are true, and she is going to be a menace. But what I did enjoy about the Leslie storyline this week was Eva, and learning that Eva is a good person. And I said that from the beginning, like when everything was going down, because she was really just following her mother's guidance. And she was also hurt thinking that her father abandoned her and, like, act like she didn't exist.
Yep.
But that wasn't the case. And she instantly felt bad. As soon as she got close to the Richardson, she was convincing her mom not to go through with everything. She tried to stop it. She even locked her mom in a closet, I think. No, her mom tried to lock her in the closet, and
Yeah.
she was doing all that she could.
Carlton.
But then at the same time, yep, at the same time, she really loves her mom. And she
Mhm.
really wants to be there for her mom, and she appreciates everything that her mom did for her. But she truly believed that Leslie having this money would get rid of her crazy, because she's like, oh no, it's just because we were poor and we were always striving for things and people left us and we needed things. But now that she has the money, she won't be crazy. Then come to find out, this woman then bought a house across the street from the Duprees, then already went to the Dupree house, then already got smacked. It's a crazy situation, but it did this week, and that's why Eva is probably my number one this week, is because her and Dani, but Eva mostly because you just really see that she has such a good heart.
Yeah, there was times though. I gotta admit,
I mean, well, you push enough, you're gonna have to fucking bite back at some point.
yeah, yeah,
At some point. But I think at its core, Eva just really just wants the best for every. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
she didn't want to be Kat's enemy forever. She didn't want any of these things, and she did have her moments because you have to fight back sometimes. But I think at the core, she just wants, like, she cared more about learning she had more family than the money.
No, that's true. It was just
That says a lot.
yeah, it was just points where I found myself feeling the way I did about Eva before she made her baby face turn, where she was trying to,
Mm,
when her and her mother was like, "Oh yeah, mommy, but now we got this and we got this." I'm like, "Ugh, ew,"
yeah.
like because Eva, we did. I think you did like favorite characters, like top three. Eva's my favorite character on the show, but she
Yeah.
was losing a couple points. She's still number one right now. But there's a
Right.
couple times I'm like, yo, really? And I get that's her mother. But what I did like was that she argued with her mother in private. It was a few times where
Right.
she waited till they got back to the hotel and she told her mother off. It's like you said, at the end of the day, that is her mom.
Right.
But I do feel like she is smarter than Ted. Last week I said he needs to focus on getting his wife back. She was smart
Mhm.
enough not to attend the event. And yeah,
Right.
I guess you couldn't turn down dinner when you're a part of the country club. The food must be that
Right. And then
good.
she wants to be happy with her mom.
Yeah,
She wants her mom to be happy. She doesn't want her to be struggling. She doesn't want her arguing with Ted and all of that stuff. And they didn't know that event was going to be at the country club. So, Eva really does try, and she was truly disappointed when she learned that her mom bought that house. It was just still being messy. Like,
right.
nothing was going to stop her mom from being messy. So,
Yeah, so it's cool, and Leslie,
mhm.
man, oh man, I tell you, with her, she is probably the greatest daytime television villain. When I tell you, people who watch Young and the Restless, they'll remember the name Ian Ward, who was a guy who just every time he showed up, it's just like you just wanted to smack him. But and then he like died at one point, but then he didn't die. And then I think the last time he might have really died. No, actually, I think he like blinked his eyes open or moved a limb.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you know the rule in soap operas is if you don't see, or TV in general, you don't see a body, they still alive. Ghosts, hopefully. You know, but like I'm looking at Leslie and I'm like, man, the fact that on cue, she just every time Billy
Yeah.
Goat, I think that's going to be one of the things we're going to have to do. We're going to have to come up with the video where we just bring out a montage of like all her
Yes.
nicknames.
Yes.
You know,
Kitty
which is
cat.
kitty cat, yes. So when she said that, I was like, wow, you know, because she is the person on the show that if you're not watching and you know somebody watching Beyond the Gates and you just hear them bust out laughing, 9 times out of 10 it was because
It's
of some
usually
personal
something
connection.
Leslie said for sure, because
Yeah.
she's hilarious. She is just the kind of crazy I like to watch. She's
Hmm.
exactly the kind of TV villain that I love to hate.
Yep.
And we also saw more of a human side to Leslie as well, learning about her upbringing and all of that. So I enjoyed that. And I enjoy Leslie. She's fucking beautiful and crazy. And she's about to drive this family to drink.
Somebody gonna have to tell her though. Like somebody gonna have to play dirty. I'm waiting for it. They
That's
gonna have
the
to say,
well, everyone is I think at this point they're willing to explore other options because someone like Leslie, you gotta do something drastic because she's never gonna stop. And now that she can, and what did Bill say? I might not be able to stop, but now you guys need to be preempting what this
mm,
crazy bitch gonna do with this money.
yep,
Period.
she's new to money. And like I said, somebody gonna have to say something nasty, be like, well, your mother didn't want you. Remember, you know, they gonna have to hit low.
They're gonna hit low, but she's gonna be able to hit lower, and she's crazier. They're not gonna be able to win. They're gonna have to like, it is what it is.
Poor Ava.
um, so my number one power ranking this week is Dani Dupree, and the reason
Mm,
for that is because she finally is knowing her worth again and she is making Andre work for her, and I fucking love that. And I love the fact that she is vulnerable and honest with the fact that she's still in love with her ex-husband. She still has feelings there. She understood her relationship with Andre. She might have got off course a little bit, but she knew what it was. She knows what that relationship was.
mhm.
And she knows that he chose Vanilla Spice over her. Yeah, you gonna have to be put on pause. I do appreciate her and Andre's friendship
Uh-huh.
and bond, but I think he gonna have to just be put on pause for a little bit, and she's gonna have to go and be Dani Dupree, and I fucking love that. And that is how I'm going to end this week's power rankings, talking about and gushing about Dani Dupree. And I want to give a huge shout out to Cara Mosley for commenting on our Instagram video about her possibly in the future doing more with
Devon
Devon
Hamilton.
Devon Hamilton,
Yeah, shout
like a
out to
little the
Carla, man.
crossover. Oh my god! So thank you so much for that. I also want to thank all of the gatekeepers who have watched our power rankings. This is the Love in Them Gates podcast, brought to you by Six Heart Media Productions. So before we get out of here, Brian, I
Mhm.
want to know what you think of those coming attractions and previews for next week's episode. We ended Friday's episode with Chelsea getting kidnapped, and I think we know who, and we know that she's gonna be tied up to some bed. So give us your thoughts, Brian.
Well, I think we said, Chelsea should have got that restraining order for Allison. And
Mm-hmm.
you just can't. Somebody show up once, okay, and they keep showing up. You can't take them lightly, So I was like, oh, here we go. We got a kidnapping scene. I'm like, they did what they supposed to do. Friday is supposed to make you not wait till you like can't wait till Monday gets here, and I'm scared. My girl Chelsea, she
I
gone.
know you gotta
Like
be careful, girl. You gotta be careful.
she used like some sort of probably chlorophyll to, take her out.
Mhm.
So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited because I can't believe I'm about to say this, but you
What?
talked about Dani. You talked about her knowing her worth. But that imagery of her falling in the Bill's arms, and like you said,
Mhm.
Haley out there, who knows? because at the end of the day, that's their daughter. Can't come
Yeah,
between.
you
So I
cannot.
no man, like
That's gonna bring them closer together, and I'm
mhm.
a Bill and Danny shipper.
And Bill is
So,
just being back in with the family,
yep,
they starting to respect him again. And I
yep.
said, now maybe, just maybe, he can help Ted get his wife back if he get rid of Colton.
Yeah. I think that needs to happen for sure. But
Mm.
yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of Danny and Bill chemistry next week. I want to see all of the Allison stuff. I want to know how all of this plays out. And I got to say, I am loving this show. I am so proud that we get to cover it and that they've already completed filming 200 episodes. It is fantastic. I
Mhm.
want to also just say thank you to all of the actors and everyone who has supported what we're doing so far and just for putting on such a good show that I look forward to watching every single day. And if you are not already, please make sure you are subscribed to 6HM Production YouTube channel. We release content all the time about all different sorts of things, including the Love and Dem Gates podcast. And Brian has some exciting content on there as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications, follow us. All the links are in the description. Check out our deep dive on the Bill, Haley, and Danny love triangle, and let us know in the comments, how do you feel about our power rankings? What characters and storylines are you totally into right now? Which ones are you not into right now? I want to know, do you think Jacob is too righteous? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next week.